Just south of the cathedral, the Elder God Wen is about to begin an assault of her own. Aloha everyone, what's going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to talk about the next front in the Elder God Wars dungeon, the Glacor Front. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, the Glacor Front. This is our second front in the Elder God Wars dungeon. Here you're going to face off new Glacor Slayer mobs, led by the unstoppable Arch Glacor. By your side are some of Gilnor's most powerful mages, which can provide you with an even greater challenge. The Glacor Front boasts RuneScape's first fully scalable boss experience, suitable for everyone, from new PVMers to seasonal vets. So starting off, let's talk about the army. Wen's army is comprised of purely Glacors. At the very beginning of the area, you're going to find yourself some Glacites. These are not like your standard Glacites from the original Glacor cave that spawn after halfway through the fight. Instead, these are smaller cousins of the traditional Glacors. You're going to need 84 Slayer to fight them, but they will drop Glacor remnants, which are a core ingredient to craft something that I'll talk about later in the video. Hellware will be here to aid you in the fight against these Glacites, giving you a taste of his nature power, which will freeze them in their tracks. There are melee and magic variants, so you can choose to attack whichever one you please. Slightly deeper into the arena, you're going to find your standard Glacors. These are your traditional ones that you've been fighting since the release, way back in the Ritual of Majorat. They have been graphically updated, but they function identical to the older ones. Older ones have been graphically updated as well. This does mean that you can now fight Glacors without needing to have completed Ritual of the Majorat if you fight them here. That said, now let's look at the new boss with this Glacor Front, the Arch Glacor. This boss is going to do a lot of strange things and a lot of new, unique things that we've never seen in Gilnor or RuneScape for that matter. Not necessarily in the sense of the boss mechanics, but the way the boss functions, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. First off, I want to take a look at normal mode. Normal mode is going to be massable, just keep that in mind. But the unique thing about this boss is that it is designed to be a learner boss. And as I said, powerful mages are going to help aid you in the fight, and they basically function as toggles. They are able to toggle on and off all of the boss's mechanics so that you can tailor the fight to your skill level. There are 5 different mechanics you can toggle on and off. You can have none of them on at all or all of them on at the same time. Do note that if you do have all of them off, this is an extremely easy fight, even easier than KBD, so there shouldn't really be anyone who has a problem fighting this boss if you turn off all the mechanics. Turning them all on, you're looking at something stronger than God Wars Dungeon 2, likely around KHOPESH normal mode. Now, as you may have assumed, killing the boss with no mechanics isn't going to give you a very good drop table. The more mechanics you add, the better you're going to improve your drop table, with the best drop table being if you have all 5 mechanics active. Another way to showcase that this is a learner boss is that all deaths for normal mode will be 100% free. If your HP reaches 0, Azanadra will pull you from the battlefield before death can claim you. So even though there will be a free death week like we've seen with KHOPESH, the Arch Glacor will always, forever, at least for normal mode, not for hard mode, will be a free death. That said, let's talk about the 5 different mechanics that you can expect when fighting the boss. Now, each of these 5 mechanics is designed to teach the player fundamentals when it comes to PVM. These are skills that are going to be useful for almost any boss in the game, so that's why it's designed to be a teaching or learner boss. The first mechanic, which isn't part of the 5 toggleable mechanics, is the creeping ice. What happens is ice shards will appear on the battlefield and will close into a certain part of the battlefield, essentially shrinking the play area or becoming an area denial type of attack. It's designed to teach players basic movement throughout a boss fight. As I said, this is not toggleable, but it shouldn't really bother you, as all it really does is funnel you into certain parts of the map. This also occurs right before any of the toggleable mechanics are about to fire off. So if you do see the creeping ice, you do know that one of the following mechanics mechanics that you have toggled on are soon to follow. Obviously nothing's going to follow if you have them all toggled off though, so it's just going to be the creeping ice. Next thing we have is the Glacite Minions. Like a standard Glacor, the Arch Glacor can spawn some Glacites. Doing so will make the Arch Glacor invulnerable until you finish off the Glacites. This mechanic is designed to teach players how to deal with minions or adds as well as target switching. It is important to note that while the Arch Glacor is immune to any damage that you try to inflict on it while minions are alive, any of the damage you do to the minions will be later applied to the Arch Glacor, so it's not a waste of time dealing with these minions, aside from the simple fact that they need to be dealt with in order to progress the fight. The next mechanic is Flurry. When activated, the Arch Glacor will switch between two different damaging types with high damage in their respective style. The player also has increased damage reduction if they are using the correct protection prayer. Obviously, this mechanic is designed to teach players prayer flicking as well as being able to read animations and understand what type of attack is heading your way. The next mechanic is the Pillars of Ice. The Arch Glacor will force the player to one side and call out an elemental beam from the sky. The beam will follow the player, then split into two to harass the player from both sides. If you're hit with the beam, it'll deal damage as well as sapping 8% of your max prayer points. This is designed to teach the player advanced movement as well as kiting. The next mechanic is the Frost Cannon, probably the most visually impressive looking mechanic of all. The Arch Glacor will trap the player in a small area and launch a huge surge of energy at them. This attack is unavoidable and will require the use of other tactics in order to survive. This is designed to teach the player shield switching and the use of resonance or other defensives that mitigate incoming damage, especially high hits. The final mechanic, I don't have any visuals of it, but it is the Exposed Core. The Arch Glacor will release its frozen core to the center of the arena, causing its body to collapse and become inanimate, while slamming both of its arms down on either side of the player. Frozen core will begin to emanate a harsh ice energy that damages and applies a stacking debuff to the player. The damage will grow with every stack until the player dies. In order to escape, the player must smash through either one of the arms, doing enough damage to set them free. This is designed to teach players to do enough DPS in order to survive a mechanic. And that is all of your mechanics. Like I said, you can turn on or off any of these if you want to practice a specific one over and over again. That all said, let's talk about hard mode. In order to even start hard mode, you need to unlock it first. In order to unlock it, you need to get one kill in normal mode solo with all of the different mechanics activated. Then you can finally get your hands on hard mode. A great way to look at hard mode is, in a lot of ways, it's basically like Telos. It has the same enrage mechanic all the way up to 4000%. It has the same looting mechanic with streaking, so obviously higher streaks will get you more and more loot or better loot and better chance at the uniques and the rares as opposed to lower enrages and lower streaks. And if you die, you get a massive penalty on all of your loot. You cannot tele out of this boss. It is not a safe fight, much like Telos. One thing unlike Telos, however, this boss does not introduce any new mechanics as you build up enrage. It's more so kind of like Shatter Worlds, where just the attacks get more and more powerful. You cannot toggle on and off any of the mechanics. You must deal with all of them, and they are tweaked slightly from the normal versions. Not much, but they are a general progression from normal mode. For example, they mentioned that for the ice pillars, there's 2 of them in normal mode. Expect more in hard mode. But other than that, they didn't go into any detail as to how the mechanics differ, or any of the other mechanics differ rather, from normal mode. But just know that they aren't exactly the same. Also, very important to note that hard mode is solo only. So unlike normal mode, which you can mass, you have to be by yourself in hard mode. And that's pretty much all you really need to know for the both modes. That said, we're going to finally look at the new rewards. We did not get all of the rewards. We will get more information next week, so keep that in mind. Starting off, we got new weapons. New tier 95 dual wield melee weapons. They did say these have a new special attack as well as a passive effect, but they did not reveal what that was on the live stream. There's also a new cosmetic wings. They're just cosmetic. They look cool, but as I said, they don't really functionally do anything, so keep that in mind. As we've known for a while now, there's going to be the scripture of when. We don't know what that does, but I'm sure we'll find out more information as time goes on. And also, the Glacor minions outside the fight will drop a component that combines with with a craftable component from the boss to create tier 85 melee weapons. These weapons are used to create the tier 95 weapons with an additional component found only in hard mode. And then obviously you can expect a new pet. Here is Gladys, the Arch Glacor boss pet, looking really cool. So there you have it. We're going to get more information, as I've been saying a couple of times already, next week, but that's what we got with today's live stream. We do know that this is actually aimed to come out on Tuesday, August 31st. It is a bank holiday that week, so no Monday update that week. It'll be on Tuesday, August 31st. And just like with the Care Pack release, the first week will be a free death week. But again, as I said, normal mode is free anyways, but at least you can utilize free death week for other bosses or even hard mode. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, hit that subscribe button. Because I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.